everyone! Today I'll be taking the concept of the circus and making magical girls and boys based on it. Feel free to suggest names for them in the comments. These are very old characters in terms of magical girls. They were probably the second group that I ever designed. I designed them a little after I designed the legendary quintet. And so technically they do have names, but I wanted to give you guys the chance to name them if you guys want. I can tell you the names I have for them. So in order, it's Rantaro, Yasu, Ezume, and Tsubaki. And those are the names I chose for them at the time. I do feel like they can have better names, so that's why I'm letting you guys choose as well. And here are the names I chose for my fruit clowns. Thank you so much to everyone who suggested names. And now, without further ado, let's get to it. Our first character is based on a lion tamer. Lion tamers are pretty iconic, so I knew one of the characters had to be based on one. I don't think animals are allowed in circuses anymore, at least in most of them, but it's still a very impressive act where a lot can go wrong. So to me, if we ignore the muddy ethics behind circus animals and animal tamers, a lion tamer has to be a very confident and brave person, since this type of act often puts their lives on the line. Our lion tamer here is pretty brave, as well as confident and maybe a bit of a show-off, as well as a daredevil. I decided that it would be a pretty fun character to have as a leader of the group. Maybe he would always try to go into danger headfirst with little to no plans, and maybe his team would have to find ways to dissuade him. He is agile and powerful, so most times he ends up fine, but not always. Note the scar he has across his eye. I also wanted to give him lion characteristics, both physically and personality-wise. In a sense, he is both the lion and its tamer. So I see him as a very loyal person with noble morals and a heart of gold. I had a lot of fun with his design, trying to sneak in some lion elements like his ears and wild hair, as well as a bow with a long tail to represent the tail of a lion. Next up, we have our contortionist. Contortionists are pretty amazing, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with a character that can contort and bend in ways that most humans can't. They make amazing horror characters, but that won't be the case today. I feel like the contortionist job title will only affect this guy's power set, which I think would be elasticity, like Elastic Woman from The Incredibles. He is gracious and elegant, and he moves very delicately. This doesn't mean the guy can't be a little scary from time to time, and I think that it can get pretty scary when he's mad, especially since his demeanor changes so much from his usual calm self. I also believe he would have a knack for theatrics, and so he can be pretty dramatic. And when upset, he might exaggerate his poses to upset his opponent. Since he isn't very physically strong, that would be the most he could do. I feel like he would be very pessimistic and thus is always pretty depressed. He mopes around a lot and has a few self-esteem issues, but overall he's not the type to let people down, and he has a lot of respect and fondness over his teammates, so he's well liked in the team, even if sometimes he can be a mood killer. Next up, our Jester / Pierrot. I designed him in this weird grey line between Pierrot and Jester, where it takes from Pierrot's in some aspects, like his demeanor and mask, but it doesn't really follow the loose clothing part of the Pierrot description. I didn't fuss over the details, I just had fun with his design. The reality is that I already had an idea for his personality, and so his exact clown denomination wasn't all that important. I wanted this guy to be the opposite of what a clown is, almost like the idea that his outfit turned out to be that of a jester was a cruel joke on him. Something that he probably hates in the beginning but comes to accept as time goes on. He is a stickler for the rules and protocols. He has them all memorized. He has incredible discipline and very rigid moral ideals and a strong sense of justice. I imagine he would be the strategist of the group. He would come up with plans that would lead them to success, only for a lion to not hear a single word and jump straight to the battle. This would create an interesting conflict between these two characters, and I kinda imagine their relationship to be similar to that of Mondo and Ishimaru from Danganronpa. So when the team is formed, they probably would hate each other just because of how different they were, but eventually they would come to realize that they aren't all that different in terms of morals, and they would become very, very close friends. And finally, we have the lady of the group, or acrobat. She's pretty skilled, a bit full of herself, as well as pretty spoiled. She gets a bit grumpy when she doesn't get her way, and she's head over heels over her boyfriend, the contortionist. She's, like her boyfriend, dramatic. It's a different type of dramatic, a drama queen type of dramatic, but still. He's the only one that can deal with her tantrums, and she's the only one that can appease him when he particularly feels in the dumps. It's a not pairing for sure, but they make it work. I had so much fun with her design, particularly when coloring. So I've mentioned before that sometimes I like to draw my characters almost like muppets/puppets, because it's a style that gives me a lot of creative freedom. And I stand by that. But there was something that I always wanted to try out, but always avoided, which was having fun with skin tones. You see, puppets don't really follow traditional skin tones. Most of the time, their skin is a bright color, like yellow, blue, purple, green, pink, and so on. And their noses are usually a different contrasting color. So imagine if you have a green puppet, maybe the nose will be an orange color. I love this so much. I just never had the guts to do it, except that one time. And I really, really wanted to try it out more often. So our acrobat has purple skin and a pink nose. Isn't she cute? I had a ton of fun. I hadn't thought of them in a really long time, as you can imagine, and it was really, really fun to come back to them, come back to old sketchbooks where I had their old designs and work with that in mind. I am really happy with the results, so please tell me in the comments what you think of them, because I do really love them. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you want to see more stuff from me, I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at momopurin_chen and on Kara at momopurin. Thank you so much, and until next time, bye!